Good evening, everyone. I'm Molly, and I'm here with Tess, Wendy, and Andrea on camera right now. So Tess is with us here at the RAL National Association. I wanted to have her come on, and just so you could see her pretty face and get familiar with her, she's going to be helping me and the RAL National Association with the webinars in the future. So you guys can get to know her, and you'll get to see her at future webinars. Wendy and Andrea are with IN2L, and they are hosting our webinar today about leveraging technology to differentiate your care homes. That was a mouthful, girls. Say that 10 times fast, right? If you guys have questions throughout the presentation, there's a questions tab on your right-hand side in your control panel. If it's technical difficulties, I can try and help you throughout the presentation because I'll be in that questions tab. Otherwise, if it's a question for Wendy or Andrea, then we'll wait till the end and I'll have them answer those questions as we wrap up. So Wendy, I know you're gonna get started with us today, so thank you so much for being here, and I'm gonna hand things over to you.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much, and good afternoon or good evening, wherever you're joining us from. I am joining you from Washington State, and we seem to have the rain settling in already for the winter time. And I'm really excited to be here today. I do always want to take the opportunity when I have a moment to speak to those who are serving seniors or potentially making plans to serve seniors. I just want to extend my thanks and gratitude for everything that you're doing. One piece to share with you about me is I did used to work in senior living, and I certainly miss just being with the residents and just making such an impactful difference in their life every day. And boy, you all have been through a lot over these last couple of years. So thank you from all of us here at IN2L for the hard work you're doing every day. With that said, we're gonna go ahead and get started and hopefully provide you with some good information on how you can leverage technology to really differentiate your home. And we'll walk through what that looks like from a technology standpoint. All right, so for today, we will be having an informative session, and we'll talk first a little bit about who we are at IN2L. If some of you have heard of us before and potentially have tried our equipment, that is wonderful, and we thank you. And for those of you who have not, we'll just be talking a little bit about our history as a company, and then how it specifically could apply to the home setting. And what you'll actually hopefully walk away from is really an understanding of how this can be beneficial not only for your residents, but for your staff and for your occupancy growth and your success as a business as well. We will jump over to our content because IN2L, that's what we're about, is engaging content. And we'll sample some of the fun content that we have to offer on our system. And then, like Molly had said, we will go ahead and leave some time near the end to just answer any questions that you may have or any action items for us to follow up with you on. And with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So who are we? IN2L has been in the senior living industry for 22 years, and you can certainly see that we have progressed in our technology just as the rest of the world has. The story about our company is we were founded, Jack York was one of our co-founders, who many of you may be familiar with. And it was started with the notion that if he were to donate some computers to a nursing home, he may be able to provide them with more to do at the time. Back in 1999, enrichment wasn't as valued. And so Jack did, he got some computers and he donated those to a nursing home. And it was such a success, just getting technology in front of seniors. Really IN2L was born, and he wanted to continue with that technology, but really create it to be senior friendly and with the mission of just providing meaningful engagement. And I don't know if you have ever met Jack York, but if you have, you've probably laughed for one, but you have also probably noticed that he is a man who has a zest for life, and what I would say is he is always craving new adventure and to continue learning. And as I've worked for IN2L, I've really seen some of those traits really translate to what we do. And he really was driven by the fact that he believes it really is never too late for people to deserve to continue to learn new things and have meaningful connection and joy. And so that's what we've developed. This just gives you a visual representation of our growth across the US and even into Canada. And what this represents is anywhere from a residential assisted living home to an adult day program to assisted living memory care, just kind of everything in between. And we've got 7,200 active systems out there. But more importantly, I think what I'd love to highlight, I was lucky enough to learn about IN2L as a customer. And the 97% retention rate speaks to all of the supports that we put in place behind our product. And I do remember this as a customer on the other side of just having a lot of communication of, you know, what's new at IN2L. We have trainers that are there to give training to your team, not only initially, but also throughout your, you know, partnership with IN2L. We want to make sure you're successful. So our implementation program really is about implementing at the beginning, but then supporting you through the journey and just making sure that you're getting that value and enrichment over time. So heading back over to that topic of engagement, I think simple common sense really tells us that physical, social, and mental engagement really increase the quality of life. And I think we can all agree that's regardless of age. In the mid-1990s, the senior living industry really started to place more emphasis on this, and they adopted a holistic approach where we're really encouraging overall wellness by enhancing the whole mind, body, and spirit. And so here, sitting in a role where I share technology with anyone who's out in the field, how can we actually support in those goals with our technology? And this is how we do it. We first design something that is senior friendly and easy for folks to implement. We know that people are busy, and we know if it's not easy to use, it won't be used. But we also really wanted to create a platform where the content nurtures interests and passions for various stages of aging. And then finally, IN2L really wanted to add that individualization and that socialization component. And I think if you aren't familiar with us, the best way to describe our platform, which we will take a look at, is it's really an aggregate of a lot of different programming, along with some content that is specifically curated by IN2L. So everything's there for you, designed to support the core dimensions of wellness. Now, I am a visual person, so I have all kinds of visuals for you today. But if you are unfamiliar with us, I wanted you to understand how we're packaged. And this is a glimpse of some of our systems. These are our mobile systems. Every single system that we have has touch screen capability to further that interaction and tactile experience for your residents. Not pictured on this slide, and one thing that is popular among the small homes is a computer desktop. So you're basically looking at a 23-inch system, not on a mobile cart. And we'll talk a little bit more about the benefits of that and a community, because it's something that you can actually project onto a larger screen. We also have some systems that mount to a wall, but these are truly some of the more popular ones. In the corner here, this engagement package, I like to call that video games for grown-ups. So it's simulators. We have a driving, a flight, and a biking simulator, and the residents just have so much fun with those. Now, given that we have several people on the call that serve in different capacities or roles in your homes, or perhaps you may be in various stages of your business or your future business, I thought it might be really helpful to apply IN2L to a very condensed move-in process and how we can really be a supportive tool throughout those steps. So let's first start with the inquiry. Families begin the process of placement, of course, by doing their research. And I think, you know, in today's day and age, that's generally on the internet, potentially word of mouth, or even by connecting with referral partners in the area. We can support this step with what we call our IN2L Lives Here program. And that is basically where we provide you with various materials that you can use to just really market your relationship in the engagement technology, along with the care and the small environment of home that you provide. So in that marketing kit, you can have flyers printed. You can even add a picture of your home along with the IN2L logo, or if you have a logo for your homes, you can add those to them. And this is something that we would utilize for referrals. We'd pass them out to our referral partners, but we'd also put those in information packets when families were stopping by or looking for information. To go a little step further, if you have a social media account or website, we do give you graphics for that and posts. And then we have some fun things like a window cling that you can have on glass surfaces just to showcase, again, that partnership. And one thing, you know, I often refer to my experience just to honestly share with you, you know, some of the things that I do remember working for us is I do remember when folks come to a large community setting and potentially they're looking at either placing their loved one in a small home or they're looking at a community, we would showcase our activity programming because that's something that larger communities spend money on. And it does appeal to some prospective families. However, what you all have to offer in a small environment with the comforts of home, with fewer residents, with that higher care staff ratio is extremely valuable, and it really can't be competed with from a large community standpoint. So you know, if you were to visit a home and they also had that robust programming, I think that it just puts you one leg up against the rest. And I think this generation, the adults that are placing their loved ones into homes, they look for technology because that's something that they have grown to be used to. So that's something that, you know, your home could really stand out probably against some of the others. So you've had the inquiry, families have called or they have potentially seen some of your flyers. So next comes a tour. They want to come and see your home. And here's where you have that opportunity to have them not only experience the comforts of your home that you've created, but also to just witness that vibrancy and that extra step that you have taken to differentiate yourself from competitors. And what I'm going to show you on our system is during that discovery process, when you're learning about the potential move-in, you may learn about that resident. You might know some of their hobbies. You may know where they're from. And when I show you the system, you can really showcase that to families, and perhaps they're from Colorado and we can show them a slideshow from Colorado on the IN2L system or pictures from Colorado. So it just gives them that sense of a personalized experience and attention that you'll be giving to their loved ones. And then finally, so we've got our inquiry and our tour, and now we are coming to the decision. And of course, they choose you as their place to call home. So as you prepare for that day of the move, or maybe even for the first week of transition, we all know how difficult that can be, that first week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month or two. But you can support this with our engagement technology by creating what we call our resident profile. And again, we'll go take a look at this live, but this is a residence tab that can be customized for them. And I think the part that I love the most is the fact that family members and friends can send pictures, they can send videos, And then residents just, they can show those off to the community or be introduced into the community and just really feel a sense of connection from the start. Okay, so now your residents have moved in, you've got a full home, you're at capacity, and you have a great wait list going on. How do you deliver on the promise? Well, you need your exceptional staff members, and perhaps that's you. Maybe you're wearing multiple hats in the community, but staffing and retention of good employees, this is probably no new news to you, but it's been such a hot topic this year for anyone in the healthcare industry. I recently had traveled to a conference where there was a breakout session regarding this topic, and they had some wonderful discussions and ideas that people were sharing. And one of those takeaways that really stuck with me was creating a supported, satisfied culture. And I started to really think this through. What does that mean? Well, it means proper training and tools and ongoing support, and obviously the people who work there welcoming in the staff and making them feel comfortable. But what folks don't know is that our IN2L technology can really be a supportive part of that structure. The way it can be a supportive part of the structure is for those of you that may be wearing multiple hats, you may be able to put your attention elsewhere as you're not trying to create activities for your residents. You would have something for your morning caregiver to be able to access and go to at the touch of a finger. And I think for those overnight caregivers in that resident who may not sleep during the night or have a difficult time, they would still have something to engage them in that would be new and fresh and easy for them to access. And as you all, I love this picture. This is one of our residents out of Florida, but as you all continue to carry out the important work of the residents, part of delivering on IN2L's promise is commitment to supporting you. And I spoke about this a little earlier, but just to give you a few more specifics of that ongoing training, we also have tech support 7 days a week, which certainly comes in handy when you're dealing with some technology. And we also manage all the software. We also include updates. So you're not doing the same content or the same thing with your residents, every month. We are going to give you some new content, and we'll take a look at what that looks like. But hopefully the idea is that we'll free up some of your time so that you can spend it more with your residents, or you can spend it on other tasks that you may need to get to. Now, before we jump over to our live demo, just to kind of end on the note of the ultimate goal for anyone who is in senior living really should be to create a place that feels like home and to hear and see that your residents are happy. I think that good people are drawn to this field. And what I can say from somebody who works for this company is we truly want to contribute to supporting those efforts. And I can go out and share with you all kinds of people who can give recommendations, but I pulled this slide and some of these statistics to just share with you that we knew as a company we needed less anecdotal evidence saying that we were beneficial and that we really can provide some benefit for your residents. And so we decided to conduct some case studies with some research firms. And we've got some really great case studies that I am more than proud to share with you following today's webinar that show just an increase in overall mood. We've even seen a decrease in the use of psychotropic drugs or PRNs for some of the residents, and just some incredible testimonials. So happy to share those concluding the webinar. And with that said, we're going to hop over to the live demo. So just bear with me as I switch screens. Okay, so hopefully everyone can see this okay. Here we are viewing our home page of the IN2L system. And this is our large group engagement system. What you can't see from this landing screen is that we have over 4,000 pieces of content behind all of these tabs. So it looks simplistic. We designed that on purpose, but we wanted it to really just be easy to use. We even wanted it to be designed to be an action-based type layout. So depending on what you want to do with your residents, you're always going to be able to find something to meet that need. For example, if energy is high in your home and we're sort of winding down in our hours, we might want to relax. So we might go to our tab for relaxing just to see what kind of content's available to us. Vice versa, we may be waking up in the morning and it might be time to get some music on and get some energy going in our home. And so we might head over to the listen area. Behind listen, we even have audiobooks. So maybe it's time for book club and you want to start a new book. So that's how we design that action-based layout. What I would love to do today is to show you the features of the system, and then I'll pop into a few different content areas for us to explore. This quick start is one of my very favorite areas. And I think this is my favorite because it gives you opportunity as a home to really create this page to, I guess, organize how you want to utilize IN2L. We have created some scenario buttons and we've started some folders, and these have been created to include things that would be appropriate for evenings or potentially for weekends, calming and tactile. But under the staff buttons area, this is for you to develop. It comes blank and it is really meant for people to be creative. So for example, you could have a caregiver create their own staff button where they're going to bookmark some of the activities that they may want to do with the residents. I've got a Friday night movies for November, so I've bookmarked all the classic movies that I want the team to share. So that's another type of thing that you can do in that staff buttons area. We've even had a physical therapist or anybody who may come into your home to work with the residents on the therapy side, love to utilize our system to meet some of those goals. And so they can have their own area as well. It is truly just something for you to run with. We're going to pop over here to our idea board. And the idea board is just as it sounds. It is giving you ideas. We don't want you to get bored with the content, and so we give you more than you can possibly need. We also remind you, hey, we've added some new content. Our content is added every 30 days, and maybe you haven't checked these out. We want to remind you to go see what they're about. And then we're also going to suggest some different areas on our system to take a look at. These rotate out weekly, so you're not seeing the same thing, just some extra messaging so that you know that you're accessing everything that the system has to offer. And then let's head over to this residence tab. I talked about this in our slideshow, but this is what we call the resident tab. You can load everyone in your home onto this page, but each individual resident will have their own personal profile page, and we call this their My Page. And so here we are looking at lovely Colleen, and what I can tell you about her is her husband was in the Air Force. She traveled a lot, was a quilter, loved Colorado, had a special vacation in Kauai, and could kind of go on and on. So what we had done, or what you could do, is just create some of those bookmarks, marking some of those things that are meaningful to her so that she sees that she was heard and that she feels more at home, that people understand and know who she is. This is very easy for you to just change things out throughout the system. So that's something that we can always show you a little bit later. Favorite part here is the My Photos. So family members can send a picture or a video over to Colleen, and it will automatically load over to her resident profile. It's as simple as that. I even have seen family members send a good morning video, or if perhaps you're celebrating a big birthday and not everybody can be there, they'll send a birthday video. These can go full screen so that they can show them off. And you would actually get an indicator that there was something new for Colleen. So just gives you that ability to customize and individualize for the resident. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is show you one more feature. This is called our search bar. And this is fantastic for a couple reasons. One, because there's 4,000 pieces of content on here. So if you know, hey, my group loves for us to play bingo, but you can't remember where to find it on the system, you can quickly search for it and we'll pull that up for you. But where I really find value in this are those moments that you may have with your residents and you want to really extend conversation, or you want to capitalize on that moment you're having with the group and continue the conversation. So for example, I always share when my son was learning to drive, my residents were kind of my soundboard. I would talk to them about how frightening it was to have a 15-year-old in charge of the car. And it sparked a memory of one of my residents in his first car. I didn't have the IN2L system at the time, so we were, typing in some websites, trying to find some different things on cars because more people were remembering. But if I had this, I could have typed in cars, and what our system will do, it's going to pull anything that we have here that is related to cars. So anywhere from trivia to games to even some amazing commercials that the residents get a kick out of. So not only does it link you to everything that's on our system, it also links you directly to the Google search for cars as well as the YouTube search for cars. So it's got a great purpose. Okay, I could truly spend hours jumping into all the content. This is my favorite part of the job. But what I will do today is pop into just a few and then just give you an overview of the rest of them. Travel section, I find this to be a section that, boy, you can get so creative with. You can go anywhere in the country. So for today, why don't we head on over to Italy? And in Italy, we can do slideshows, we can create recipes, you can have a theme for the month, and maybe you're going to have your meal be just designed to be something from Italy, and you're going to have decorations for Italy. So there's all kinds of content that can really lead you through traveling to Italy. But then you can also head on over to our travel videos. And I'm not sure if anyone has tried armchair travel, but this is like walking journeys, hiking through different places, just really feeling like you're present there. But we also have something similar called guided tours. So we can head over to Europe and we can see what we have under Italy. If I were to click on one of these, it would be as if we were walking through Florence. So it just brings you to that location without going to that location. Rick Steves, always a well-loved video to watch, and we certainly have plenty to offer behind Italy. So that just gives you an idea of the travel. But again, you can go anywhere in the world, even national parks. And this virtual vacation website allows you to fly over different parts of the cities. Even play some games where you're trying to guess where you're at. So it's a really, really creative section for travel. I want to take you back to the home page, and we will pop over here to the staff area. And I want to highlight a few things on this page that I think are fantastic. If we jump into our activity ideas, again, coming back to that notion of saving you time and trying to really take some of those responsibilities of people who may be wearing multiple hats. This allows you to search for monthly ideas or seasonal ideas, for example. And I can't believe we're already in November, but let's head over there. So here we have all kinds of activities that we can take advantage of that are relevant to November, but we can also click on a calendar, and IN2L has populated any monthly observances that may be here, weekly observances, and also just you can click on them, it'll take you straight to the information to participate in some of these days. So this is a wonderful planning tool for some of your activity programming. All right, not to mention Broadway. Broadway, we don't have full featured films, but we certainly have enough that can provide an escape where you may be able to have some sing-alongs to some of the favorite songs, or potentially really just branch into more conversations, trivia, music activities based on those Broadway shows. Okay, I'm sorry. I wanted to show you one more thing here in the for staff area. Here's where we make sure that you're aware of where to contact us. Again, we have that support for you 7 days a week. Here's also our marketing resources. So this would be things that you can take advantage of, like I had spoke to earlier, to just make sure that you were showcasing that partnership. But this also gives you what's new, what we have added every 30 days, along with a print site. Part of being a customer with IN2L is you have access to a print site, which just gives you additional activities to do that you can print for your home and your residents to participate in. Okay, so we've talked about travel and for staff. And I think the other two areas that I did want to point out as well is our watch area. I always like to tell people we aren't a substitute for Netflix because we believe in providing the classic films and the classic TV shows. So under our movies tab, we have the full featured films. And as I had said, we do update these every 30 days, so you're not watching the same thing. And then to take you back to some of the classics, we've loaded comedy shows. Who doesn't love the Lucy show? So we've got a lot of her different episodes, as well as just, like I said, some drama films that you can also take advantage of. Live webcams, if you feel like watching pandas for the day. And then finally, behind this section, I want to highlight Saltbox TV. This is a station that's basically designed just for seniors. You can take advantage of extra exercise programs for seniors. A lot of different TV programming is offered through Saltbox TV, and we have a partnership with them. We know how incredibly important music is, and behind our listen area, not only would you find every genre you can possibly imagine, but you can do some sing-alongs and also some incredible karaoke. So we've loaded you with any kind of music that you could possibly want. And then, like I had mentioned earlier, even some audiobooks for you to listen to. Now, again, I could pop into all of these different areas and spend a great deal of time, but I will just go ahead and offer that up if you're interested in further exploring the IN2L system. That's something that we can do outside of today. But again, 4,000 pieces here, so a lot of time that we can spend looking at them. I think the final area I'll pop into, and then I want to take you over to our tablet, is just the play section. Here we have all kinds of different games. Bingo, of course, is always a favorite. And in our bingo program, it frees you up to walk around and assist residents finding their square, because there's somebody speaking the number and you see a visual up there as well. We've got some incredible puzzle games that allow you to determine the difficulty or ease of the puzzle. And again, remember, this is a touchscreen system, so residents may be moving puzzle pieces up on the screen and just really having that tactile experience as well. So many fun games here to explore under play. Okay, I want to show you just our tablet option for a moment, and then we will open it up here to some questions. Pardon me, thanks for everyone's patience on the screen. I appreciate it. Okay. You know, while you're still seeing this main page, one other area to highlight while I am working my way over to finding this next screen is just to let you know that we do have a full therapy area that we offer. And we've got therapists who are actually on staff with IN2L who work with communities or homes who want to implement some therapy within the home. So it's something that I love to leave up to the experts. If folks are interested and talk to a therapist, we can certainly line someone up if you have a therapist who does visit your home frequently. All right. Ooh. Okay, so here we are at our tablet landing page, and you can see it looks very familiar. It is the same page that you saw on our large system, so the two of them communicate, which is really a wonderful advantage for you to not only have it on the large system, but if a resident wants to sit down one-on-one with their tablet, they're going to have that same information on there. We're going to pop back into Colleen Swank to show you a little bit of the difference here. So our tablet is really designed to give more personalization, and we want to start it off with a greeting. Depending on where you live, it's going to be an appropriate time of day. It does help establish time of day, day of the week, and the weather as well by letting them know where you're at. As you can see here in Washington, we're in the 50s, but at least we're not raining today. A few add-ons that you'll see on the tablet are located right under the My Photos. So we have a phone book, and this is where they can program any of their friends or loved ones and simply have them in there ready to call and be able to reach. I'll give you a real quick glimpse there. In addition, there can be text messaging. So residents can actually text. We've designed it to be nice, large text as well as white space. And then your resident can reply by typing, or they can actually use voice to text when they're replying to their loved one or friend. And then back to that resident profile, when we looked at Colleen's profile on our large system, we might have seen more content. And the reason is our large system holds 4,000 pieces, and our tablet can only carry 1,000 pieces of content just due to size of system. So many of it is still there, but that is the biggest difference as far as content goes, is you receive that 1,000 pieces for the tablet and you receive 4,000 pieces for the large system. And then the best part of this tablet is our video call option. So if Colleen wanted to make a call to me, to my entire family, she's my grandma, by the way, then she could simply tap on my name and I would receive a basically an invite that Colleen wants to talk. Can you take the call directly to my cell phone? Doesn't matter what carrier. And I can join it, and I can add on more people in the family. You can have up to 8 people on a video call, or she can always start a group call as well. So that is an incredible option that we've added to the tablets. And then finally, we wanted to give a little bit of that ownership back to the resident. And so we have on our tablets the ability for them to change their password. They can even take a selfie and set their profile on their photo for their My Page. But it just gives either the resident or the staff member just ease of access to some of those things that you may want to get to quickly. IN2L sets customers up with what we call a customer portal. And so some of these things you can manage from a computer desktop customer portal, or you can just manage them straight from the system. So we wanted you to have that opportunity for both. All right, well, taking a look at time, I do want to pause here and see if there's any questions.
Doesn't look like we have any questions just yet, but if you have a little bit more to go, anybody has any questions, you can fill them in here now. And then I know you guys have a link you wanted to share too, correct? You're gonna get there?
Yeah, we sure do.
Perfect.
And you know, Rob, I know that Rob, my colleague, and Andrea are also on the call. If you guys have anything to add while I'm pulling that up, that I may have left out.
Wendy, I'll go ahead and add the link into the chat for everyone.
Oh, great. Perfect.
Yeah, this is Rob. I would just say if anyone is interested, you know, in learning more about IN2L, we're more than happy to show you a full demo. What Wendy showed you today was kind of just a highlight overview, but we're more than happy to show you all a demo of the system and go through the ins and outs, best practices, things like that. So please feel free to reach out if you guys are interested.
Yes, he is exactly right. And yeah, if more details, if you even want some of those case studies to share, we certainly want to make sure that we spend the time with you to learn about your objectives, your goals, and your home, and certainly reach out to us. So Andrea has put that in the chat for you, and that will link you straight to whoever might be available to help you in your area. And you know, I think, Molly, for me over here, I think I've covered really the basics on this. If there aren't any questions, I guess I just would want to end with, again, thanking you all and just encouraging you. Seniors need you, and I know that what you do is so important in providing those homes for them. And just look at us as a resource. We truly want to help and even give you ideas if it's not with us. We want to be there to support the community. So thank you again for having us, and we will get this link over to Molly to also disseminate.
Perfect. And I will send this recording out tomorrow with this link. I did update the link. It looks like it may have not gone out to everyone. So I put that link in the chat. It has gone out to everyone in the chat now. So if you wanted to get access to that exclusive link for this webinar, there it is. Otherwise, you'll see it in an email tomorrow. And Andrea, Robert, Wendy, you guys, thank you so much for being here with us today. You guys have such a wonderful product, and just like all of these small care homeowners, you guys are doing your own little part in making this industry better. So I appreciate everything that you guys do, and I love that you guys come on and do this with us.
Great. Thank you so much, Molly. You guys all have a good rest of your evening.